This is Tuesday, July 15th. There are 8 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2025. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
VANUHTEE go. Oh my god, I love LiveJournal, and my LiveJournal loves me. Current mood is hyperactive, current music, Refuse 73. I love the color scheme, it's pink and purple, it looks green.
Good evening, everybody. I am your host, James Riley, and joining me on the podcast, as always, Carrie Dixon.
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right, so tonight we have three special guests, technically from two different companies. First up, we have Marissa Kiersch, Vice President of Brand and Experiential, and Annie McAllister, Executive Producer from 1540 Productions. Hello there.
Hi.
And then later on, we will be having Josellie Rios Lopez, Director of Marketing at Crunchyroll. So that will be in a little while. But first up, welcome everyone to SDConCast. We'll take your comments and questions during the show. You can tweet us at SD_comic_con or use the hashtag SDConCast. We will also be keeping an eye on the YouTube live chat if you wish to comment there. But first up, let's talk to our guests. And Carrie, why don't you get us started?
So first of all, thank you both so much for taking some time out of your schedule. I know things get busy, especially this close to Comic-Con. So thank you. But let's just get started. So before we do anything, why don't you just tell everyone a little bit about 1540 and what it is that you do for anybody who doesn't know?
Ooh, I feel like that's my question. So 1540 is a full service production company. We started 24 years ago, working in just red carpet movie premieres with the studios here in Los Angeles. We've grown and expanded out of that. We are a full service agency now, offering everything from experiential brand activation, such as things like Paramount Plus The Lodge, other activations we've done that have toured around the country for other streamers like Hulu and such. The team that makes it the unique nature of our company is the fact that we build everything in-house. So we do everything from front to end. And it's really been a labor of love from our two owners, Craig and Cindy Waldman, who built this out of their laundry room. It's what it is now. And we get to do cool shit all the time. And it's fun and it's exciting. And I don't know, it's just a company that continues to evolve and try to stay like on the forefront of everything you possibly can when it comes to event production.
Well, fans love what you guys do. The Lodge obviously has been coming to Comic-Con for several years now. Everyone's a huge fan of that. You guys have done some really cool stuff even before then, like the Ready Player One experience. But I just kind of want to know for each of you, like, what was your first actual experience at San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh my
Do
God.
you remember?
Yeah.
I remember mine.
Yeah. Marissa and I actually met during Comic-Con even before she was with 1540 and like lifetimes ago for me. My very first thing that I did at Comic-Con was probably even sooner, like 2010, 2009 maybe. And it was the AMC booth on the show floor and it was a 20 by 10. And now we're in, wherever that has evolved professionally into where we are now. But we've been at Comic-Con, both of us together, separately, LA, New York, like for longer than I care to say.
I was a publicist. I was a junior publicist, and it was 2008 was my first experience at Comic-Con, and I was there with Sid and Marty Krofft for Land of the Last.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
So
cool.
that was an interesting one. I learned a lot. You learn a lot, when you're young and you're there and you're like thrown into the mix of what the con is, and you're just like, oh, what the fuck? Like, this is amazing.
There's so many people. Yeah.
There's so many people. And I remember being inside the hall as it opened. And it was like I was a little fish swimming upstream as everybody was coming in. And I was like, I'm going to get trampled. And that is my first core memory of Comic-Con, where I'm just like 22 years old going, oh my God, what's going to happen? Do I die?
This is how I die.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I have there's some stuff that I will never forget, like the Harry Potter panel. I was there when the Avengers assembled for the first time. I was with those. So
Nice.
I've been there in the publicity capacity to like where we are now, which is fun. So I've seen a lot.
So you've been bringing the Lodge to Comic-Con for a few years now, and it's obviously been a fan favorite because there's always lines. Tickets are always selling immediately. What was the original vision, and how has it evolved over each successive year?
So the Lodge is an entity that exists for the last 3 years. So this is the third iteration of it. And each of the 3 seasons, it kicks off in the first quarter. So the first time it was invented by Paramount Plus and our teams. It's a lot like it is now. It's so crazy to go back and look at renderings of where this thing started and kind of the first iterations of it and what it has grown to become. The very first time we ever worked at the venue we're still in, it was actually the Star Trek 10 forward bar. So we're lucky enough that this is the 4th year that we're working in the same space. This is the 3rd year that it's going to be the Lodge. And it's really just a challenge every year to see how many nooks and crannies we can build into that are new and different in a building that itself is not getting any bigger.
That actually was one of the surprising things about it, was how many things that are in there when you walk in and how many things there are to do.
Yeah. We map it out and really dive in there with all of, like to Annie's point, like the nooks and crannies, figuring out how to make best use of the space, but also make sure that it makes sense for that specific IP. So knowing, the consumer base and the rabid fandom, we know how to scale out what IP needs to be a little bit, more centralized and what we can put in different locations, or what can be paired with a drink versus what can be more of a, tactile experience.
So kind of going along the same line, obviously, like you do the Lodge every year, but it's different every year. How does your team and Paramount continue to say okay, we need to push the bar, we need to go bigger and better?
That's the question every year. When we know that the tour is coming back, we start the creative kind of design brief, I would say around October-ish. And it's a full, almost like an advertising team, like a brand design team. Like we have to come up with what is the brand aesthetic, like all the way down to textures, like interesting patterns we can bring in. A lot of the times we'll start with the Lodge. When it goes to the ski resorts, it starts as a tent. So kind of the tent pole, because the mountains typically go first, is creating what does the tent look like. And then the next challenge is how does that translate into buildings? Because at San Diego Comic-Con, it's a building. When it goes to South by, it's also a building. So we take kind of the hero brand identity, which is the tent structure. And that can take anywhere from 3 weeks to a couple of months for us to get exactly right and perfect. So it does take time. It takes us a lot of time together. There's a lot of people that are involved with that creative development. We are, custom making pieces of tents that don't exist. We're stretching the boundaries of what these structures can take in the weather that they go to. And we do at the same time consider how does that translate into an architectural piece when it's moving into a building. So all of those things for the entire year have to be taken into consideration, starting in just a couple months from now.
It's a
little bit of a process. It's a process, yeah.
Yeah, it's a process.
So I mentioned one of the fun things is just how much you guys managed to put in there, and it encompasses so many different fandoms. And Paramount has a lot of different fandoms that they can pick from. So how do you and Paramount sit down and do you guys have a list, or do you bring up things that maybe you're a fan of, or do they just come with a list and say, let's do these things this year?
They come with the list after they've figured out what works for each market, because it does change from location to location sometimes based on what is best suited for that area. Like South by is completely different than what the Mountains is, on a 60-40 ratio. Comic-Con is going to have a different set of IP sometimes, because it makes sense to really ignite the fan base and get that conversation going. They spend a lot of time thinking about what the best IP is for the locations. And then we come in and we help with that ideation and coming up with what that, activation is going to look like and what it's going to be by understanding the marketing and branding components of each IP. So Annie and I will sit together for quite a bit of time and go, okay, what do you think this one's going to be? And then we'll white paper it all out and we'll pitch it back to them. So it's a really collaborative process from start to end.
So you guys don't have to do just the 10 things that like fit into the Comic-Con space. You guys have to do a few more for South by and a few more for the mountain and all that. So you actually are working on multiple things, not just what we see at Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah, and they might change. Like we might have the same IP at Mountains that you'll see at Comic-Con, but we might change the activation because it's better suited for that location and it makes more sense. It's more engaging for that audience that's going to be participating with it. San Diego versus someone who's on Steamboat that is just looking for something, slightly different, more of a grab and go item.
That makes total sense. So I want to talk a little bit about lines. Managing lines at Comic-Con is definitely an art form. But I feel like you guys have a pretty good system down. Can you talk a little bit just about like lessons that you've learned throughout that whole figuring out line management and crowd flow?
There is a tremendous amount of thought and intention that goes into ours. As I'm sure a lot of activations do. We map them out. We have meetings about them. We have learned that if you put a stanchion out, then a person will come to stand by it. So there's also an art form to what time you set the line, because as soon as you do, one, you're prepared, but 1,000 people then show up. If you don't set it, they come anyways. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it. We have a lot of conversations. Things that we've learned are we need to overstaff so that someone in our uniform can cap the end of the line. The honor system, while we love it and we think people will go by it, is not always how it works. There's cutting and there's, hey, this person cut. So I think for us, line queue management it's at the forefront of so many of our conversations. Where is the ADA line versus like the other line, and how long are people waiting and what's fair? There's accommodations made for people who can't stand for that long. Is there shade? Is there water? It is absolutely an art form. It's just a negotiation. And then no matter what, the plan that you wrote is always trash as soon as you get there and something goes different, and you just have to make it up on the spot. But lucky enough for us, we have seen the Lodge perform in this space for 2 years, 3 years if we count, 10 forward. So we generally understand that if something in X position is popular, we know where that line is going to go, regardless of what it is. So there is some historical data, at least we're lucky enough to have. But yeah, it's definitely a magic trick.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think Annie and I, working on Legendary's booth together for years, on the other side, we learned how to queue a line and like wrap it into a 20 by 20 space pretty tightly. So we took those learnings and we're like, let's make sure we do that here. Because
they did a ticketed thing, like all came from that.
Because your experience starts the moment you get into the queue, and you want that experience to be good, because like it sets your tone for the rest of your walkthrough of this space. If you have a shitty experience in line, you're going to walk in with a negative energy, and we never want that. So we make sure we're super communicative out in the line, just letting people know, things are coming and you're up next and things like that. So we try to do our best to make sure that those waiting are getting the exact same treatment they would get anywhere else and inside as well.
Well, you guys make it look easy. And we always hear very good things about your line management. So kudos to you guys, because it's definitely not easy.
That's nice.
Perfect. We love that.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like our biggest fear is like a shitty line.
That really is. It's so amazingly simple that that's all it takes is the line. I mean, obviously you want to have a good experience inside, but the line is just so simple, but so important.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marissa.
I think it's about the line. I think it's about the staff that you have at your activation who are friendly and engaging and make it feel comfortable is a huge part of it too. And I think that's where the staff that we have, we work with year after year, and they help with that queue management, and they help everyone feel as if we're all the same, which everyone should be. Everyone should be treated the same. You're all there for the same reason. And that's what we try to make sure we really stick to is people are spending tons of money to come to San Diego to do something that they love, and we get to give them something back with this experience. And we just want to make sure that takeaway starts the moment you get into that queue.
Another thing I think that is important to line queuing in general is the people who are coming, who are these super fans of these shows, they are prepared to be in sun and heat for 4 to 6 hours to go to your experience. And the only thing at the end of the day that they're looking for from you is communication and knowing where to go, and where that spot is the right spot the first time you tell them, which are really, at the end of the day, very simple things to give fans when they're coming. So even if we have to change a line, if you're talking to all 20 people standing there, hey, we're moving right here, everybody, here we go, let's go together. It sounds easier than it is, because it is quite difficult, but at the end of the day, the task of doing it is boils down to simple kind of organization and communication with the people there, because they just want to know what's going on.
That is exactly correct. You cannot over communicate to Comic-Con attendees, for sure.
Right, exactly.
So the logistics of the line put aside for a second, are there any other logistical challenges to unique to the lodge that you've had to solve over the last few years?
Building something that has no business being built in.
Our fireplace that sits in the middle of the space that then needs power dropped to it for our fire to burn. You're putting generators in there that are battery powered that nobody sees. Like there's secrets behind the curtain of the drape that we'll do whatever it takes to get the job done, to make sure that it looks the way it's supposed to look and activate the way it's supposed to act. So there are a lot of hidden compartments inside. There's crawl spaces that are just big enough to shimmy on through. So like we say we max out the space, we max it out. And if we're putting somebody behind a wall to go fix something, they're shimmying through, and and it's all safe and done to code, but it's like we try to max it and push to our limits so we can make sure that we're building this, to the best of ability. So there's a lot of logistics that go into play, and each time a new activation comes in, like last year with SpongeBob and trying to do the cash grab inflatable machine.
Yeah.
Those jellyfish were fucking flying out everywhere, and we were like, they're supposed to stay inside. We were like, no, the jellyfish stay in the home, not outside the home. So like you're trying to fix that on site, and there's little things like that. Like the food, Annie and I love when we have food activations because they can't make it out of the kitchen fast enough, and then just get stopped, and then nobody knows there's food coming. Yeah. Everybody finds the kitchen. So like with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we were trying to figure out a back entrance. So, it's like, it seems like small little things, but they take a lot of work in trying to plan them and figure them out to make sure it's the best use of time and our execution is right.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the sheer heroic effort it takes to just get the trucks down the street to build on 5th, going through doors that are odd sizes, in total. Our sweet logistics team, who's probably listening to this, to be honest, hello Yolanda, is just the act of scheduling enough trucks. Like we start loading in at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're using 5th in every way imaginable, and sometimes the street is closed to the public. This year it's not closed to the public, so rerouting people on sidewalks for an area in the gas lamp that is so popular and so busy in the middle of summer with people who live in San Diego. Like the sheer challenge of delivering this product safely for both the community and the end client it's actually a feat. It's probably, by the time we're done round trip, 35 to 40 trucks that come in and out at the end of the day. And that's only in 4.5 days of getting it in there. So yeah, wish us luck.
It's insane but impressive. I also just wanted to point out to Marissa that no lollygagging in the chat said the jellyfish was so damn fun, though.
That's fun. I have to say, like, we had a lot of fun figuring it out, but holy shit, like, come on. Those jellyfish were supposed to stay inside the home. Like, you're supposed to catch them. They weren't supposed to catch you.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, do you guys have, now that you've been here at San Diego now for a couple of years, do you have like a favorite activation that you've done at Comic-Con, like of the lodge?
Oh, like of our own?
Yes, yeah, like of your own.
I feel like that shows favoritism.
I know. I was also going to say, I feel like the best things are coming.
That's okay.
Looking around I honestly, I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was killer. The way it looked.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
And the pizza looked really good. It was fun. It was colorful. Like, there was just something about it that
the Ghost one last year was really, really awesome too.
I think I'm excited for ones that are coming this year, and I know we can't spoil it, but yeah, I think there's some are really cool. But to Annie's point, Ghost was awesome too.
I will be honest, I miss, and Paramount Plus would kill us if they heard us say this, but I've said it to them so they know. I miss when the whole entire thing was Star Trek. Like, one of the things that we take very seriously is that we are an off floor Star Trek space. And I've heard repeatedly from people that we are the only off floor Star Trek space that's free. So the responsibility that we have to treat that category with respect for the people who are coming is not something that's lost on us. We work very closely. Paramount Plus has an incredible relationship with the Star Trek fan base directly on their own that they curate and maintain. So we are always fighting for that title to have as much space as humanly possible. And one of my most favorite things in general is the fans that come back, even from 4 years ago, who came to that first one and are so excited to see what we do this time. There's always kind of this recurring group of people that are just the most wonderful. They really enjoy it, and it's a challenge every year to, like, what can we deliver to them? It's become a personal relationship. We see them, we're the same team, they're the same team. So I think the Star Trek space is kind of a recurring favorite in general to produce. That's always the biggest challenge.
Actually, I was at that 10 Forward experience that year, and I loved it. And so let's talk about that for a minute. It was very memorable. There was so many different things from all the different treks. How did you guys build that concept, and what did you guys do to bring it to life? Like, how involved were you in creating those spaces versus just Paramount saying, here's what you have to work with?
So 10 Forward, the first experience was actually in downtown Los Angeles, and it was produced between us and Paramount Plus March of that year, I want to say. I think that's when it was. And that's something that they came to us with, wanting to do this kind of ticketed experience. The reservations were an hour and a half. It was like the full culinary, beverage, very in-world. And I think what a lot of people didn't realize, at least at the time, was the set that you walked into was the show. We didn't recreate it. We had to supplement with bits and pieces because we were building it to a unique architecture. But the stools that you sat at were the ones that the actors sat at when the show was made. And there were some people that didn't understand that because it looks like a bar, like any other bar. And so we had a couple of people leave at one point. Oh, okay, I've seen it. And I was like, I don't think you understand. You're standing in the set. This is the set. The photos on the wall are from the set that the show was filmed in. And then it was like, this amazing, I want to go look around and, look at everything. So there were a lot of amazing pieces that we got to work with. We work with the Star Trek archive team. They pull pieces for us. We go into warehouses and get to go, through kind of the history of their sets and get to pick the things that we want, which is a real treat for us. But yeah, that whole set was extremely real.
That's cool.
That is cool. No, that one, a lot of people loved that one, including obviously James. So I want to talk a little bit more general. How important are offsites and these interactive experiences at San Diego Comic-Con? And what do they offer fans that other things don't necessarily?
I think they're extremely important because there are folks that come to San Diego that don't have a ticket to get into the convention, and you're able to reach a wider audience by having these offsite activations. And you're not put into a form or like a mold. You can kind of expand outside being in a booth or, you know, something on the show floor, which is equally as important. I think all of those activations are wonderful, and the panels and everything that takes place. But I think by being able to create these immersive worlds and environments, you can transport people from San Diego into these unique spaces where they can just take a breather outside of the convention, or they're just walking through the gas lamp and they want to see something and engage with different properties. That's where the lodge is so wonderful in that way, because you can touch so many different people because we put so much in there. It's not just one unique environment that's going in. We have a home for it, and then each space within is another world that you can step into.
Well, on that note, I know you can't spoil things, but what should fans expect at the lodge this year?
More stuff.
Great answer. Perfect.
It's grown. We have grown. I think that we're comfortable saying, without giving anything away, that the lodge itself is, as far as square footage goes, physically bigger.
Nice.
Which is letting us stretch our wings a little bit and expand on things that we had to be smaller with before.
That's exciting, honestly.
Oh,
That in itself is exciting.
How was that? Was that okay?
Some would say you were media trained on that response.
No, you did good. Well, if it's okay with you guys, do you care if we take a couple of reader questions?
That's fine.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So Jack is curious about how you come up with all the ideas for shows that haven't come out yet. Do you get to watch like screeners before it's released, or how does that work?
Depends.
I was going to say it depends. There's sometimes we get absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And Annie and I will just make it up. And we'll be like, we think that the log line is based on this, and the idea and concept should be this. It sounds like you're taking a bunch of acid together and coming up with these ideas, like, to be honest. But then other times it's the marketing team is so wonderful, and they put together these amazing mood boards and ideas for us to go off of with thought starters that helps. But honestly, she and I just go back and forth with a couple other members of our team, and we might be able to watch a screener. We might be able to get some, you know, art from the show.
Occasionally get a script.
Yeah. And then you kind of just dive into it. If it's an existing property that maybe has a book or a movie that's turned into a TV show, sometimes that does help us because we get a little bit of that lore that way to try to figure out where to start from, even though it could be wildly different because a TV show might not hit the same storyline that a movie or a book does.
Right.
There is a lot of research. When research is available, there is a lot of research that goes into them in a very quick amount of time.
I believe that for sure. Amanda Payan wants to know, will the Paramount Passport or Scavenger Hunt be returning this year?
So Passport is not returning, but there is a different activation that will be occupying, if you're familiar with Lodge, there's that small kind of patio space that sits outside. There is another activation that's going on there on behalf of Paramount Plus the social team. We don't have the
That's
exact...
the deed. It's the deed, right?
Yes.
Okay. That has been announced. Yeah.
Fan Frontier.
Yes. Fan Frontier. You get deeds to the Paramount Mountain. Yeah.
That will be at our location. You don't have to come inside Lodge. That sits right outside in that little patio space. But yes, Fan Frontier is taking over this year.
Perfect. And then Mike Nelson wants to know, is there a show you haven't been able to do that you want to, and why is it RuPaul's Drag Race?
I almost did that at South by. We were were going to do a panel, and then it didn't end up netting out properly. But like we all really wanted to do it.
Sounds like that might actually be the answer. Then
it literally was, and that was a South by specific show that was being brought to the table, and we just didn't have the space for it. We wanted to make it more interactive and live, if you will, if you catch my drift, and we didn't have the ability to bring in a stage.
Makes sense. Wow.
I feel like we've gotten most of the ones we've wanted. We've always thought it worked out last year to have SpongeBob because it was the 25th anniversary, but that's one because it's so universally loved by every human being imaginable of all ages that we have fought for a long time to have that one with us. So that was a fun one to have. But I feel like for the most part, they're very healthy in their choices. They rotate a lot. They show a lot of equal love. We are lucky enough that we get to work on Lodge. I mean, I was counting them the other day. I think that this one will be 14. The 14th one, which is just insane. We get to experience a lot more shows than just the fans at Comic-Con do. So I don't have any that we haven't had a chance to do that I could rattle off.
I like when we bring in films. I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
There's some that we wish we could bring in, but they didn't align. I think, when you bring in with the Paramount picture side of it, it kind of unlocks a whole nother vault. So it's fun. It's interesting.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully sometime in the future. I hope you're okay with me asking this one. Marissa, you and I chatted briefly about this before, but Ton Zucker asked, so there's two different sets of Lodge tickets that dropped. The first set don't have QR codes. Those will still be honored, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first wave of tickets absolutely are being honored. Those are valid.
Perfect. All right. Let's see. Do we have any other questions here, James?
I'm not seeing any.
Not that I think you guys could answer. Yeah.
Well, I actually do have. Do you guys get to enjoy any other aspects of Comic-Con? Or are you guys working all 5 days? Well, more than 5 days.
What year did we go to Jurassic Park?
That was last year.
Last year or 2 years ago?
It was last year.
Yeah.
There are very few things that really excite me. Jurassic Park is one of them. And so we were lucky enough to snag tickets to it. And that was like get in the pedicab, we're going. And we just sorry everyone, we're leaving. We gotta go. I think that was the last time happened to
I don't know. Annie and I have been doing this together for so long that I'm just sitting there going, we stopped doing the whole party scene.
Yeah.
We used to go to those back when we were younger. We don't do convention floor passes for our team. So we don't really get to experience that unless it's through a client or a partner.
Right.
We have a second activation down at Comic-Con this year that we're building out. So we'll be stretched between our teams. So I have a feeling this year it's going to be activation and sleep and eat, and activation, sleep and eat on repeat for the live days.
Yeah, you have almost the entire company down in San Diego this year. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Has that second one been announced yet? Or still TBA?
TBD.
Okay, fair enough.
You'll all really enjoy. God, I feel like we're so TBA over here, we can't say anything. It's like
you said nothing. All you said is a thing is coming.
That one, I'm just I definitely don't want to get stuck in that debacle of saying anything, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
That is more than fair. Damien asked, how big is your team?
We are over 100 if you want to include New York, Los Angeles, all of our craftsmen that are the dream team that builds everything you see and get to touch and get to experience, because we're building that in Los Angeles with the most amazing scenic team in the business. And then we've got a heavy hitting group of producers, production managers, creative services department that just is knocking out these graphics that you're seeing on the walls, and they build the renders and the scenic team, puts them to life. So we're about 100 plus between the two coasts.
That is definitely more than I thought. That is so impressive. Love that. So I think we'll take one more question. I like this one. Jerry Knowles asked, what can we as fans do to make the lodge easier for you guys to run and manage?
Don't show up too early.
I don't know that you're going to get that from Comic-Con attendees, but
we also need to sleep. Our standby line, I think, starts around 5 o'clock in the morning. And we are blessed with a line that spans a couple city blocks. That is, and I mean it, was a surprise and a shock to us. I never would have expected that. And the fact that it's happened over the last few years. But I think that the people who come to the show are also accustomed to how we produce the show. So it's just a nice layering of, okay, I know how to do this from before. It runs once it's open and we get through, the first few sessions, like anything, are always like, oh my God. But once we get ourselves open, the place really turns like butter and it's wonderful. So Jerry, thank you for the question, but we're good. You guys are great.
I think the one thing that we also love from you guys is feedback. We love positive feedback, Jerry. So like, just keep that like on that side. But like, if you're gonna give us negative, like sandwich in with the positive. Like start with positive, go negative, and then stay positive. I call it a compliment sandwich. So that to us goes a long way because it helps our experience for you for the following year or different areas. Like if there's certain things that were like a photo op that you just loved, or the way that this was done, or the artwork or a build or something of that nature, a lot of that really just helps us because it's our analytics. It's hearing actual live feedback versus just reading it. So if you see somebody who works there, go up to them and tell them, you loved this part of the experience, or have you guys ever thought about something like this? But we love that. We love the communication, and we love, having that ability to build relationships with you guys as well.
Well, we love what you guys do. We are so incredibly excited to see this year's iteration of the Lodge and to see you guys in person. So thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your night tonight to join us. We really appreciate that. And we'll see you here in like a week. It's terrifying.
We'll be there soon.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you
so much.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was only the first of our guests this evening.
That's right. We have another special guest. It is Josellie Rios Lopez, Director of Marketing for, is that UCANZ?
Yes, for UCANZ at Crunchyroll. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're excited to talk about Crunchyroll.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
So for anyone who is unfamiliar, why don't you just tell everyone a little bit about Crunchyroll and what you guys are doing at the Rady Shell this year?
Sure. Well, Crunchyroll is the largest dedicated anime streaming platform right now. We have more than 50,000 episodes of series, music videos, concerts, films, more than 2,000 anime titles on our platform. And we are coming to the Rady Shell again this year with the Crunchyroll FanFest. So we are so excited. It's going to be 2 days of music, anime IP activations. We also have a lot of stuff happening at the con inside with our Crunchyroll booth and our whole H panel. So a lot going on for us this year.
You guys really do, yeah. And on that note, one of the things that I think is the most impressive about Crunchyroll is it feels like every year you guys just go bigger and better every year. What do you think is so special about San Diego Comic-Con that like keeps you guys coming back and encouraging you to like, okay, we got to bring our A game?
Yes. Well, SDCC is the largest congregation of fans and pop culture driven by those different fandoms that meet there. So we've seen the parallel between anime's explosive growth worldwide and its growing representation at cons, including San Diego. So every year, the percentage of anime fans, of cosplay, of general anime activity that is happening at SDCC continues to grow. We see so many more Tanjiros, more Nezuko's, Luffy's, and so we respond to that, right? And as the fandom at the con grows, so we become bigger and better every year so that we can continue to fuel that fandom.
That's so funny because we've been talking internally, like it truly feels like this year, even though like anime has definitely been growing and growing and growing, like it really feels like this year is like anime's year at Comic-Con. It really does. So
Yes.
we're excited.
That's true.
So in raising the bar, you know, one of the things that we love is that you change things up, not just like let's just go bigger of the same thing. How do you approach that growth though of choosing what to, you know, new things to do, or just like growing the things that you have and done, making them feel different or bigger and better than they were the year before?
Yeah. I think like you were saying, anime has continued to become more front and center everywhere. And so our approach to Comic-Con every year is informed by that, right? Like what that growth has been that year and the desire that we see in fans to see those things represented at conventions. So we see ourselves as kind of like the source for that fandom, and we develop our game plan in response to that feedback and that demand. That's essentially how we start our approach. So for example, last year, we had the One Piece booth photo op inside the con, which was a big success. And our concert at Rady Shell hit capacity both nights. You know, at all times, there was a lot of people waiting to come in as others left. So this year, we immediately start thinking, okay, how can we top that? How can we go bigger? And that's where the festival like lineup came into play, and creating this festival like experience that will allow more fans to come out and enjoy not only anime music but also anime inspired music, or by artists who enjoy anime as well, right? And so we also expanded the schedule to allow people to come in at 1 p.m., decide how to fit the Rady Shell and the concerts, inside their plans for the con, right? If you're going to the con, you can plan around that. If you're not going to the con, you can come in and spend the 10 hours with us. Great. That'll be even better. So we kind of wanted to make it easier for everybody to be a part of it. And that was our approach this year.
Well, I have a question, but first I just want to say I love your nails.
Thank you. I love it too.
You're welcome. So the lineup this year obviously includes performers across like so many of your show's theme songs and songs from the series. How did you guys like put together that lineup, and how did that come about?
Mm-hmm. It definitely, creating this lineup was a fun experience. Coming off of last year with Lisa as the headliner. She can sing a full set just of anime songs, which is amazing, with Demon Slayer Sword Art Online. And we wanted to expand on that. And so we set out on how can we identify what people are loving, and how can we make them dive a little deeper into that connection that anime has with fandom. That anime has with music, right? Because music is such a big part of anime, like those opening and endings that just stick with people forever, right? Like I'm not gonna sing them to protect everyone's ears, but you know what I mean, right? Like Demon Slayer's Renge, or the Mashal song with the dance, or the Dan 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 opening that's been so popular this season. We wanted to expand on that. And so we created a lineup that reflected that, with Spire, for example, with, they have this big hit song from the most recent Haikyuu movie, The Dumpster Battle, which was a great success. So that's on one side. And then how can we integrate then more elements for fans to dive deeper? And that's where the other artists came up, right? Like, what music is inspired by anime, how are these artists not only inspired by anime, but how are they anime fans? So for example, Denzel Curry is a great example. You can see when he talks about anime and how it influences him when he performs. So we had a lot of fun creating like that balance and variety with this lineup that I think is very reflective of the different profiles and likes of anime fans themselves. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it is.
So outside the music, at the festival, there will also be activations crosswalk with Kaiju Number 8, The Rising of the Shield Hero, and more. What can you tell us about what fans can expect from that?
Yes. So outside the concert space, we will have an incredible anime experience at the activation crosswalk. These bring like our biggest hits of the summer season, so you can kind of take a stroll through them. So you can dive into a trash-filled world of Gachi Yakuta, literally. So like our protagonists, fans will be able to dumpster dive through garbage and search for treasures, and then they can exchange those for prices. There will be different photo ops to immerse yourself in like the world of Rise of the Shield Hero, Dr. Stone, my personal favorite recently, Apothecary Diaries. So also inside the con, if you're going inside, we'll have the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. So you can actually go inside the castle and explore, take pictures. And yeah, we have a lot of surprises for folks there that they can miss.
Wow, we love surprises. And another thing that we love is giveaways. What can you share about this year's giveaways?
Yes. I don't want to spoil it.
That's okay. That can be one of those surprises that we love.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but I can say, there will be plenty of opportunities for giveaways. You may have to literally dig through trash for it, but I promise it'll be worth it. I think the more you explore, the more opportunities for giveaways that you'll have. So that I can say.
That's fair.
So for those who have never been to Crunchyroll's Anime FanFest before, what would you say to convince them to come out and make it part of their Comic-Con weekend?
If you've never been before, I would say, the Anime FanFest is unlike anything that will be happening at San Diego. It'll be a, full-on festival experience right in the convention's backyard. So, you can take a stroll in the activation crosswalk. You can enjoy your favorite anime, maybe discover a new one that you don't know yet. And it'll be super easy for anyone to join at any time, right? We have, we open up early at 1 p.m. You can accommodate it to your schedule. It's free. You don't need a badge. So, you can decide if you want to accommodate it to your schedule inside the con. But if you're not going to the con, you can still come join us. It has expanded space also from last year. So we are hoping to accommodate even more fans.
Nice.
And yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be your whole Comic-Con experience. You can spend the 9 hours with us, or you can stop by, enjoy the parts of the lineups that you enjoy, be in a place with other anime and music fans like you, and then continue to enjoy the con. We'll be there.
Well, that all sounds like so much fun, but I know that behind the scenes, a lot of work went into creating this event. So talk me through, what is planning for something like this like for your team?
Yes, definitely a lot of work. I will say what is great about the team at Crunchyroll is everybody is so passionate, and that makes everything so much easier. So, even when we are working on the project right in front of us, we're already thinking about the possibilities for the next. So I would say we started planning for this concert the moment last year concerts ended, and a lot happened in the middle, right? We were fresh off Anime Expo, and then this will be in a week and a half. So a lot goes into it, but so many amazing team members and partners that we have on our side is really what allows us to create this magic. So big shout out to all of the teams within Crunchyroll and our partners that allow us to do this.
So speaking of the team, is there any like specific logistical challenges that people may not consider goes into making this? I mean, you're putting on a concert, and those things are pretty big all by their own, but you're also doing it during Comic-Con. So, I mean, is there just logistical challenges that people don't even think about that you have to deal with?
Yes, I mean, it's hard to pick one, honestly. But I will say a big one is scheduling. You know, we're a global brand, and we want to create experience that resonate with the global experience that we're creating. But we're also tailoring that to the local audience, right? To the audience here in the US and there in San Diego, and what they like and what they want. So that requires a lot of coordination and accommodation between different time zones, not only of our own teams, right? We have Crunchyroll team is across the world, but also of the different artists that are going to be there, right? That they are in Japan or from Puerto Rico or from different US time zones. And so that can be very challenging, getting everybody in a room or communicating in an effective way. But, you know, like I said, our teams truly make magic happen. And in the end, it's really worth it.
Absolutely. So one thing that I think had to be logistically challenging, but so cool, was last year you guys had that fireworks show. And that was amazing because it was like, even if you weren't there, like everybody in the Gaslamp got to experience that. We loved that. Can you just talk to me a little bit about like, how did that even come about?
Yes, lots of permits. No, it was very cool to see, because then afterwards we saw a lot of like people posting on social media that weren't there, or, you know, even across the bay or whatever, wherever they were that wasn't there, they could still see the show. And to us, like, that was amazing. But how it came about, I'd say, you know, we literally wanted to close out with a bang. Like, we had such strong closers.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. And we had such strong closers. Like, we had Lisa on night one when her amazing anime set, and then we had the One Piece Orchestra. So we knew fans would already be amazed. And we wanted to create a moment that took them like a little bit further, like over the edge of that wow feeling that they were going to be left with. And what better way than fireworks? You know, summer is fireworks season in the US, in Japan, I think, as well. So it lined up perfectly. So, you know, we went through all the motions to make it happen, and it was such a treat, really, to see everyone's faces as they enjoyed the show. Like, everybody was watching the fireworks, and I was watching all the faces. Okay, I'm enjoying this. But yeah, it was so good, and we have some enhancements this year, so it's going to be very, very cool. No spoilers, but don't miss out. They start at 10 p.m. if you want to see them.
Okay, well, let's talk about this real quick. I'm going to jump into a reader question. So Amanda asked, how late does Anime Fest go each day? And then what time does it actually start for like the artists? Like, I know people can get in at 1, but like, when is the first music performance?
Yes. So the show, the doors open at 1 p.m. And we will immediately at 1:30 start with our DJ acts. So there will be music all the time, right? Obviously, in between sets, we have to change, but there will be somebody on stage or entertaining at all times. I will say, if you go into our Crunchyroll news, you can find the full lineup with all the hours of each artist for each day, so that then you can pick and choose. I believe Spy Air is the first night and Denzel Curry is second night. So those are our main, I would say, headliners, if you're interested. And then the show both nights ends at 10 p.m. with the fireworks show.
Perfect. Okay, well, I want to shift gears a little bit here, and I want to talk about the wraps. So first of all, we love that you guys have continued to wrap over the years, whether it's the buses or the trolleys. And then this year, there is obviously a giant Demon Slayer wrap going up on the Omni, which we've been sharing some photos as it goes up, and it looks so good. Yeah. What do you think that those wraps, like wherever they are, add to the overall atmosphere of Comic-Con?
Yes, we love that San Diego how that fandom spills out out of the convention center into the streets, right? You see it in the hotels, you see it when you walk Gaslamp, it's all decked out, or the corridor in the back. And so we definitely wanted to be a part of it. And so what better way than bringing Demon Slayer with the movie coming out in September? And we are so hyped for what's coming next with Infinity Castle. So, we felt it was the perfect way to kind of lead up to that September 12th in theaters date. And, in the same way that anime continues to expand as part of SDCC with Crunchyroll's booth and then the panel, it made sense, right, to also have Demon Slayer outside, inside, every side. And so, yeah, Demon Slayer will be at the fest, inside the con, and is in the wraps.
Well, we love it. We were so excited yesterday when we saw that start going up. And I mean, it already looks amazing. And they're not even like halfway done. So we're very excited about that.
Yes, I can't wait to see them live.
It's honestly like that is truly one of our favorite things about Comic-Con is like we always say it's like the whole of the Gaslamp is getting like dressed up for Comic-Con because it's true. Like it's just the whole city is a celebration and it's so fun. How do you hope fans feel when they leave Anime FanFest this year? Like, what would you hope is the one thing that they take away with them?
I think a baseline, we really hope fans leave the Crunchyroll Anime FanFest with a great song stuck in their head. We want them to go home, listen to our Spotify anime playlist on blast. And beyond that, we want them to just to recognize and feel that anime is a lifestyle and music is an integral part of that experience, from both the series perspective and also a creator perspective, right? So as you continue to enjoy anime, it is just part of your life, and you can continue to enjoy, these tracks by Spire or Yama and all your fan favorite, music from your shows, but also other kind of music and other kind of artists, right, that are inspired by anime and are inspired by the medium. We just want people to feel that their fandom lives across wherever they are and whatever they enjoy. And whatever that is, Crunchyroll will be there to provide, but also to enjoy it with you. That's, if there's one takeaway, I want it to be that.
Very cool. So you mentioned a surprise at the fireworks, but you don't have to tell us what it is. But should we expect more surprises at Comic-Con this year?
Yes, of course. So many. I will say, like I said before, the more you explore, the more you might encounter a surprise. So that is applicable to our panels. I would say you definitely don't want to miss the Demon Slayer panel at Hall H on Saturday at 5:45 p.m. If you want a surprise. And Rady Shell as well. We will have a lot of giveaway moments. And of course, the fireworks show that starts at 10. And I can't say much more because I can't spoil it. But yes, I would say those are key moments, key places to be.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, we do have one or two reader questions, if you don't mind.
Sure, go for it.
All right. So Chad in the chat asked, how can fans get into the VIP area? Is it being a Crunchyroll subscriber or something else?
So the VIP area is reserved for certain partners, but Crunchyroll members do have perks at Rady Shell. So when you check in and you identify yourself as a Crunchyroll member, and then staff will be able to show you to specific areas and perks that you'll have within Rady Shell.
Perfect. And then Nico wants to know, how big is the team at Crunchyroll that's putting this all together?
Oh, wow. I mean, I feel like Crunchyroll worldwide, I feel we have more than 1,500 employees.
Wow.
Worldwide. So it's a lot of folks. how big is the team in the US that's working on this? We also collaborate with partners across the world for this. But yeah, I would say 300, maybe more. Yeah, if I had to estimate, I don't have the number top of my mind.
No, that's fine. It takes a village to put these things together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we are so excited. And one more time, for anybody who is unfamiliar, why don't you just run us down one more time how people can attend?
Yes. If you want to attend the Rady Shell concert, the Crunchyroll Anime FanFest, will be located at the Rady Shell starting at 1 p.m. You'll see the entrance identified in the corridor showing you the way to the line. And yeah, just come, enjoy yourself. We'll have themed food, we'll have drinks, we'll have merch, we'll have giveaways, we'll have swag, we'll have so much music. And yeah, just come spend some time with us. You can adjust it to your schedule. And we are so excited to have everyone there. You cannot miss out.
We are so excited, and we are so appreciative of you for taking some time out of your evening tonight to talk to us. And we will see you in like a week.
I know, in like a week.
Yeah.
It's so close. I'm so excited. We'll see you there, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So now we do the news.
And all the news.
All the news. Starting with something that we actually just touched on a little bit, which is the wraps. So several of the wraps have started to go up in the gas lamp right now. We started over at the Pendry, which is going to be The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, as it has been for many years. And then over at the Omni, it is, as we just discussed, going to be the new Demon Slayer movie. And then Park 1 is, they finished that this evening, but that is Dexter Resurrection. And then over at the Hilton Gas Lamp, it looks to be all Shudder all the time, which is not shocking to me, but maybe a little disappointing. I like Shudder. I'm excited for the clown. I just love Interview with the Vampire. And I'm like, could we not have had both? And maybe we will. Maybe we will, but I have my doubts. Right now, Shudder is for sure going on like that inside wall where Telemasco was last year. And I'm like 99.9% positive that the big main one will be for Clown on a Cornfield. So there's one more spot over there that AMC normally buys. But I'm like, if two of them are Shudder, probably all three are Shudder. But we'll see.
And trolleys, we thought we were done, but we got even more trolleys wrapped up. We got Butterfly showing up on a trolley, and then we had a bus showing up with Donkey Kong Bonanza for the Switch. We have another show from Oracle.
A bunch of shows from Audible.
I mean, isn't Oracle really the main one because it's got a nice?
It's pasty.
It's got a big giant pasty face.
Yeah, like that's that line there.
That's kind of the one, right? But no, there's others like Dungeon Crawler Carl, Sacrilege. What else? I think that's the two ones that I can see. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So moving right along, we've been announcing a bunch of signings. Johnny has started to put together his annual signings list, but that includes signings over at Dark Horse, which this one has some really good people this year, including Frank Miller, Jeff Meyer, Eric Powell, Becky Cloonan, James Tinian IV, the ElfQuest folks, David Dastmalchian, as well as like Patton Oswalt, Alan Tudyk, and the cast of Resident Alien, Nathan Fillion, and even like a special TBA guest who requires a wristband, so you know it's going to be someone good. So yeah, you should go check all of that out and all of the other signings on our site, because we do our very best to compile all of the signings that we can find into one place, because God knows they're all over the place.
All over.
All over.
We do the same thing for panel giveaways. We try and find all of the panels that are going to be having giveaways, whether it's announced on the official schedule or not, and compile it all into one post. Johnny puts that thing together also, and it's a good thing. If you like your freebies when you sit down and watch a panel, this is a post for you.
Absolutely. If you could look at that panel schedule, I know. Don't be laughing at me on it over here. You can look at that panel schedule on the Comic-Con app, which is now live. Yay!
Yay! And we had Sony Pictures announce that they're going to have some appearances. They did not list them as signings per se for most of them, just appearances. So we'll see what that entails. But we have things like the stars of Twisted Metal showing up on Friday. Outlander, Blood of My Blood, also on Friday. The other Outlander, the main one, right? The first one, all on Friday. Gen V stars. Looks like everything's happening on Friday except Ronald D. Morris signing on Saturday. And this is all happening at booth 4745, the Sony booth.
Yes. And then I did just want to point out, because this came out late, that Amazon Prime did finally add their missing panels. I think we talked about this a little on Sunday's podcast, but Kara was basically like, I feel like sitting there like that It's Always Sunny meme of Charlie, like where he looks psychotic with the board and like,
yes,
you know, but they are doing panels for Gen V, Upload, and Butterfly, which were not on the original schedule. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. With some good people, guys, like Daniel Day Kim is on Butterfly, like Upload has Robbie and Mel. So, and both of those are in pretty small rooms. So go check that out.
And then we have, moving on to offsites, and we have some information on some offsites, including FX's The Wreckage for Alien Earth. This is going to be operating, it looks like it's for 18 and up only, and it will be operating from Thursday through Sunday with 2 different time periods. One is The Wreckage, and that is the first 5 hours from 11 to 4 or 10 to 4 on Friday and Saturday, and 11 to 3 on Sunday. And then The Wreckage Code Red is the end of the day for the experience from 4:30 to 8 or 4:30 to 10 on Friday and Saturday, and it's not happening on Sunday. Entry is first come, first serve, and that will be is this going to be over in their usual spot?
Yeah, it's over in their usual spot. So I just want to talk a little bit about this. So first of all, they have said like nothing about what this Code Red thing is, and I am so curious. Like all that they have said is like it's a pulse pounding encounter designed for the brave. I'm like, what does that mean?
I'm pretty sure it means that there's going to be aliens jumping out at you.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, is it literally going to be like aliens are like chasing you around?
You
Like,
know what they're going to do? They're going to make like jelly fit, you know, like gummy worm style versions of face huggers, and they're going to be people just throwing them at you.
I'm down for that. That sounds fun.
No, I don't have a clue what it is, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm super curious about that. And then I also did just want to mention that they're doing like some other giveaways that they're like Prodigy Corp thing, including they will have a vending machine stocked with in-world beverages, only I think I mentioned. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. All right, so moving right along, if you did not score a ticket to Fandom, we are giving away 2 pairs of tickets. That closes tomorrow evening. So go look at our site for how you can enter that. And then you should actually read like the interview that we did with Fandom, because it's got some really cool information about like what is happening at the party this year. So yeah, go enter and then go actually read the article, please.
Stars is bringing Spartacus, House of Asher pedicabs. That means you can get some rides around the gas lamp for free thanks to Spartacus. These will be running all 4 days of Comic-Con from the 24th to the 27th, from 10 a.m. to 6 on Thursday, 12 to 8 on Friday, 1 to 9 on Saturday, and 10 to 6 on Sunday. There'll be 3 different pickup locations: the Fifth Avenue and L, the Fifth Avenue bike lane, and the bike lanes behind San Diego Convention Center.
Adult Swim is back, which we knew because they came on our podcast a couple weeks back. But they officially announced, and they are doing a pirate party on the green, which is basically like their normal offsite, but like themed to cat pirates. Because why not? But this year's iteration will feature Rick and Morty's Butt World Bounce House. You can paw through plushies on the Common Side Effects Mushroom Hunt, and you'll get to claim an exclusive plushie as your prize. There'll be photo ops with merch. You could adopt a plush pet from the Adopt a Kui station, inspired by women wearing shoulder pads. They'll have face painting. They'll have all kinds of things, including like evening entertainment as well. Like they're doing live table reads for Rick and Morty and Smiling Friends. All of this is first come, first serve, but you can find all of that information on our site.
Speaking of serving, Welcome to Dairy is also serving up free pedicabs on Friday and Saturday of the con. They'll be offering free rides around. They will also have brand ambassadors around handing out some chilling sweets. So sounds like we're going to be getting some ice cream from it. Welcome to Dairy.
Yes, absolutely. Next, we have Peace Fest, which for anyone who tried for tickets, it was not well named. It was not peaceful. But hopefully you got tickets, and hopefully you didn't spend like 10 hours of your day trying to get those tickets. But it sounds fun if you were successful. The event will feature live music, themed games, exclusive merch, a chance to explore the Quantum Unfolding Chamber. There will be Harcourt's KO Corner Bar, Economo's Mortal Kombat Station, Vigilante's Hero Ship Merch Shop, with items from DC, McFarlane Toys, Sideshow, and more. And there's even like an encounter with Eagly. I am so freaking curious about the live eagle and a little afraid. But that will be open Thursday through Saturday at Nova. It is actually, which is where Dungeons and Dragons was, and it is the same team that did Dungeons and Dragons. So I have high expectations for their live management. Yes.
And then for Marvel, we have ECG Vault exhibit at Sparks Gallery. They are bringing some pretty cool looking stuff presented by ECG's East Continental Gems. They're bringing a one-of-a-kind gemstone infinity gauntlet. It's going to be high-end collectibles, fine jewelry, pop art, rare pieces like a power orb, and a debut set of Infinity comic covers, volumes 1 through 6, all embedded with real gemstones to resemble the Infinity Stones. So a bunch of cool stuff. So the gallery is at the Sparks Gallery, which is at 536th Avenue, just a few blocks away from the convention center. Admission is free, and it will be open Thursday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
I saw somebody in the chat ask about IGN and if they're bringing back their party, and they are. And we announced it last week, and it was just so busy that you probably missed it amid the other 1,000 or so notifications. But IGN is teaming up with Toei Animation for a One Piece party. They have their usual Friday night spot at the top of the San Diego Hard Rock Hotel. It's 21 plus. There'll be a live DJ, trading card giveaways, photo ops, appearances by One Piece mascots, and a special guest appearance by Colleen Clickenbeard, the English voice of Monkey D. Luffy. In order to get a ticket, there's 2 ways to do it. You can stop by the Toei Animation booth, which is number 3635, or you can keep an eye on IGN social media. So normally what IGN does is they just do a random drop. They do not give you a time or notification. It's totally random. Last year, it was literally like preview night at like noon-ish. So yeah, you just basically have to turn on notifications for IGN and be ready to go at any moment's notice.
Fun.
Shudder.
Yeah, it's Comic-Con. So speaking of the wrap that is going up on the hotel, Shudder is going to be bringing Clown in a Cornfield, The Experience, for the film that is debuting soon after the con. It is going to be at the Hilton Gaslamp Quarter Hotel Terrace at 401 K Street, and you can stop by Thursday through Saturday from 12 to 8, and it's going to be an experience. Tickets will be available starting on July 21st. Visit Shudder on Instagram and Twitter to obtain tickets. There will be a daily standby line available. The event is free, not recommended for children under 13, and if they are under 18, they must be accompanied by a guardian.
Yes. I'm actually really excited about this. To go on a slight rant, one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life was like me, a friend, and then like two of our guy friends. Like we went to one of those like cornfield, like the haunted cornfield things, like here in Oklahoma. Okay, like it was like on an actual farm. And it was like pitch black dark, and like they were coming up to us and like touching the back of our hair. We loved it, and we finished it. And the guys were like, "We're not doing that again." And me and my friend looked at each other and we're like, "We are. Let's do it again." So I love that kind of thing. So I'm super excited about that. Anyway, Disney TV is also coming with 4 different activations. We just talked about FX a little bit ago, but they are also doing Abbott Elementary, a very Abbott block party, which will have a Ferris wheel, as well as they'll be giving away Philly ice water. You can snag exclusive premiums. They're giving away like boombox bags or bucket hats. They've got some really nice looking pens. Those I think are going to be huge. They're doing caricatures. It all looks so incredibly fun. I do not have hours. Many people have asked. I am trying to get hours, but I don't have them yet. They are also doing Percy Jackson and the Olympians over in the Gossip Triangle, which is picture where the giant TV screen is, and that's basically where this is. But you can step into the world of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Sea of Monsters, with an interactive experience where attendees can peer through the mist, find out which god has claimed them, and trade drachma for mythic merch in anticipation of the second season. I don't know what any of that means. But we'll find out. We will find out. And then there will also be a King of the Hill, Hank Hill's Backyard, which will be basically where Hulu has been the last couple of years, is my understanding. But it'll be a full-on Texas cookout barbecue. They do not say what kind of food, but I will say that the last King of the Hill barbecue I went to was not what I would consider barbecue. It was burgers and like Frito pies, so that is my guess for what food will be served. But they'll also have like a boot toss and 2D characters that you can go and take photo ops with and other things, and they're giving away free branded like cans of water and more. So that is open Thursday 11:30 to 7, and then Friday and Saturday from 9:30 to 7, and Sunday 9:30 to 5.
And Twisted Metal, in addition to the panel and screening inside the convention center, is bringing the Twisted Metal Bumper Battle to an offsite. This is going to be happening Thursday through Saturday at The Lot at First and J, which is 450 2nd Avenue. And that is where Amazon typically had their events, right? Like the Gray Man
Yes.
stuff? Okay.
Yes, yeah, it's in like that parking lot, basically.
Okay. So it's just what it sounds like. There's going to be bumper cars designed to look like the series vehicles. You can do basically your own demolition derby in bumper car style. There will also be photo ops and a showcase of vehicles from the series and surprise moments straight out of the show. It is free and open to the public, no badge required, but entry is first come, first served, and you will have to sign a waiver. The hours are Thursday from 12 to 4 and Friday and Saturday from 12 to 6.
Yep. Comedy Central is doing a South Park activation where South Parks can step into the chaos of Colorado's most notorious town. It will be open Friday and Saturday only from 11 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. with photo ops, cosplay contests, trivia, karaoke, exclusive merch giveaway, and more. They did do tickets the other day. God, was that truly just yesterday? Oh my God. Okay, they did tickets yesterday. Those are gone now, but they will probably still do a standby line because everybody still does the standby line. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
See, you're yawning too.
You started it.
I did, but it's like I got up much earlier than you.
Also showing up not only inside the convention but outside is Lilo and Stitch, and there will be a shaved ice truck on the lawn behind the Omni Hotel, which is that little strip of lawn where the walkway is, going like if you want to walk from the hotel to the stadium or the other direction to the trolley stop. And it's going to have island-inspired photo ops and more, but also it's a place to get some cool shaved ice treat. It will be open from Thursday through Saturday from 10 to 7 and Sunday from 10 to 2.
All right, so let's take some reader questions real quick. Evan G asked, how close to the deadline do you suggest submitting our online exclusive selections? Honestly, I think you're fine to do it right now. It closes on what, like the 17th?
17th.
And previously I said I would do it about 2 days before, which is right now. I could easily be proven wrong tomorrow, but I do not think they will be adding anything else. If you wait until the very last minute, you risk them like it not working and not having enough time to get them to fix it. So I would go ahead and do it. I saw somebody earlier ask about like, oh, if I already submitted like, and I want to change it, can I do that? Yes, you can. There are instructions on how to do that on Comic-Con site. And if you can't find that, Google our website and look for like SDCC blog exclusives portal, and we link to their post with like the instructions on how to change your selections. So you can do it that way.
And if you are the type who wants to wait to the last minute, just in case, consider the last minute. It closes at essentially midnight that night, right?
Yeah.
Pacific time. I would consider like noon last minute. 12 hours before, because that's still during business hours when they will be still hopefully be able to help you if something goes horribly wrong. That should be considered last minute, not midnight.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and answer this because we're a week before the convention and whatever. Straight to VHS asked, did we cover IMDb vote? Unfortunately, there is no IMDb vote this year. We're very sad to tell you that. Analog Adventures asked, any word on the safe room activation at Coin Op? Okay, so if you did not see on that one, they originally announced it at like the faraway Coin Op, but we confirmed that they just had the address wrong and it really is the one in the gas lamp. So don't worry about that. Okay, I think that about does it for offsites. Let's move on to exclusives.
You start.
Okay, I can start. So up first, we have our friends Yesterdays, who have shown off so many pens, including 3 truly beautiful ones today from the pen-up artist Sveta Shubina. They're stunning. They also showed off some more exclusives for their Slabs art cards, which are blind boxed comic cover like trading cards in UV protected acrylic cases. They're really nice. They are also, it's their 10th anniversary this year. They're doing a party over at Stone Brewing, but they are also doing a 10th anniversary box set, which features 10 different pens from across their 10-year legacy, all in like antiquated gold, including a heart pen. That one is limited to 500 pieces, and the box with the 10 set will be $80 each. They also showed off their freebies, which like if you spend at least $50 at the booth, you get a free 10th anniversary lanyard. If you spend $100 more at the booth, you get a 10th anniversary coin. They showed off tons more pens, including this year's regular heart pen. So this one will be available every day of the convention, including preview night. It's limited to 1,500 pieces. It'll be available for $10. I think this one looks really nice.
It does.
So I'm excited.
That box set, though, putting a heart pin in there, all of you who have made a point of collecting every single heart pin, they just added that one more, like, they got you, the gold one. You're going to have to buy a box. But those pins, actually, there's some really good pins in there, too.
There's some really good pens. It's like, it's well packaged. I think it looks nice. I don't know, yesterday's was like, is the packaging enough? And I was like, I think it looks nice. So I think it's good.
All right. And then next up, we have IDW, and we have seen so far 4 of their exclusive comic covers. We have, let's see, there's a Godzilla #1 by Attack Peter. We have Monster High Pride 2025 by Tsukuyomo. We have Star Trek Red Shirts by Jack Lawrence and Charlie Kirchhoff. And let's see, it says Beneath the Trees. Who's that by? Where Nobody
Patrick
Sees
Corbin.
Rite of Springs #1 by Jared Cullum. So there's going to be more. They have a list of other exclusives, some Turtle stuff, and another.
Honestly, I mostly included this because I think that Attack Peter Godzilla is so fun with him, like in the gas lamp.
Yeah.
I love that, man. I love it.
All right. So, and then they have booth signings and things too, but they have a bunch of exclusives, and those are cool.
Yeah. Bandai. We announced today, thanks to Disney, that they have a limited edition Star Wars Darth Vader Tamagotchi, which is heading to the convention, and fans will be able to basically like do a transformation from Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader through the Tamagotchi. So there are 5 mini games and 12 iconic scenes on the pocket-sized Tamagotchi, and that sounds fun. And
then 100% Soft announced a few more items, and that includes emoji pins from Bronze Age Black Widow, Bronze Age Shang-Chi, and Nano Gauntlet Hulk. These will be $12 each. And then we have a set of Fantastic Four pins, including Herbie and Galactus and the Human Torch and Invisible Woman and the Thing. Those are all swivel pins. So they have the piece that swivels up, so you can get the Human Torch as flame or non-flame, and so on. And then Mr. Fantastic. So they're different prices. The smaller ones, like Herbie, are $12, and the swivels and the Galactus are $16. And then we have the translucent glitter edition Galactus soft vinyl figure, limited to 300 pieces. A limit 1 per person, and it is $100. That is actually a really cool looking little Galactus.
It's all their stuff this year. It looks so fun.
Galactus is not supposed to be cute, and that Galactus is
cute. He is. He is. We've got some of the biggest news today that all of you have been asking about, which is that the chocolate is back. Of course, the chocolate's back. So the San Diego Convention Center, for anybody who's unfamiliar, their wonderful pastry team puts together like exclusive flavors of chocolate specifically for Comic-Con. It's in like really nice packaging, like that's very Comic-Con-y. So these will be available starting Thursday. There's a kiosk right outside Ballroom 20, but they will be available for $10 each. And this year's flavors are Flying Saucer, which has a gravity-defying mix of coffee beans, toffee, brownie brittle, and milk chocolate. Home Run, which knocks it out of the park with pretzels, pecans, sea salt potato chips, and dark chocolate. Pop Star Party, which has strawberry cream, puffed rice, fortune cookies, and white chocolate, and Saga of the S'mores, which has toasted marshmallows, graham crackers, sea salt, and milk chocolate. So those all sound really yummy. Parks and Cons on our team is going to get a taste of those tomorrow, and then we will have our thoughts up on those then.
my thoughts are there's nothing outlandish this year. No like super hardcore pepper or like I don't know. There was some slightly weird stuff in chocolates of the past, and like the weirdest this year is like potato chips, but they all sound delicious.
They do all sound delicious, and these do sell out. Like we're not kidding. So if you were interested in these, like truly, I would aim to get them Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, and there's always like one or two that are the favorite that people buy more of. So if you think one of them is like, I think that one might be really good, so do like 80% of everyone else, and so that one will sell out first.
I do just want to mention that Stacy M in the chat said last year I found them in the concession stand on the floor. So maybe poke around or ask, and maybe you can find them with no line.
And they did those box sets last year too, where you could get one of each. Mm-hmm. So and those lasted longer than the individuals that did sell out of certain ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have What's Your Passion Jewelry? And they have a bunch of stuff, including debuts of Anne Rice's Immortal Universe. Let's see, what are these? These are, I don't even know how to describe these things. But then they have a bunch of Neopets.
So okay, so you were not doing this justice. I'm going to do this one.
You're
really not. Okay. So they've got a really nice San Diego Comic-Con exclusive gemstone bracelet, which has like a little dangle charm that says SDCC 2025. It's got some really nice beads on it. It's going to be basically $40 at their booth. If you're a Neopets fan, they showed off some more Neopets pens. But the coolest thing to me, honestly, about their pens is they've done several now. They did a couple Care Bears ones last year. They're doing a couple more Care Bears ones this year, and then some Neopets ones that are like line starts here or line ends here, that are like truly themed to the con. And I'm a sucker for any of that stuff. But I'm like, come on. If you are of a certain age, me, maybe not you, James, but like Bright Heart Raccoon having a line cap sign, I'm like, I want that. So yeah, there's some really fun stuff, but I love anybody who does things themed to the con. So okay, it is still me.
No. So this is all me. This one's all me. This is butts on things. It's right down my alley here.
Okay.
Fun stuff, fun stupid things. So we got the Weird Bunny butt for $12. That's a debut. We all know what the Weird Bunny is.
We do, but we're trying not to get anybody sued.
Right. The reversible bag charm Weird Bunny butt, which is $14 and also a debut, and one side is pink and the other side is brown. These will be in limited quantities at the convention. And then we have Snitch Butt, an SDCC exclusive for $12. And the Superman minifig duo, which is $14 and also a Comic-Con exclusive. And there are two versions. And the versions, as you can see, are, underwear outside the pants or not outside the pants. And
underwear inside the pants, yeah.
Now, luckily, these are limited to 2 per customer so that you can get one of each if you really want. They're limited to 300. And I think we have Toto Rump, the $12 debut, or D-Butt, as they are called. And did I put it in there? Yes. And it's also the Block Buttster pin, also $12.
I just love Brian. Yes. Like, I mean, it's such a simple concept, but it's so good. It's so good. Oh, Brian. All right. Patrick. I love what he's doing this year. So he announced today something that I think is really fun, which is his video box VHS canvas. So basically what he's done is he has created some packaging that says like "Con Hard," and it's got like, I don't know, I'm like, the packaging itself like could have been the exclusive. It's so cute. But within the packaging, which looks like a VHS, is a canvas print. There are 2 different ones. They're 4 inches by 7.5 inches. And yeah, I just think those are so freaking cute. They'll be $60 each and available only at his booth, and I love those. He's got some other items. So he, at his pop-up only, because you're not allowed to sell food in Artist Alley, he will have some exclusive chocolate for $25. He did a pre-sale the other day, but I think he will have a couple more like at the actual pop-up on Tuesday. So you should stop by that, which is at Mnemonic Coffee at 3 p.m. To 6 p.m. He also showed off a Fantastic Four inspired print, which is 5x10 and available for $25, as well as several new pins for $12 each, including one for Severance and more.
And then we have Naoko Malali is bringing Glinda and Elphaba SDCC exclusive enamel pin set. The 2-pin set that are 1.5 inches each are limited to 400 pieces, and there will be 100 per day from Wednesday through Saturday, and they will be $30 each. So go and pick up your set now. Those things are pretty.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. They really are. All right. So speaking of pens, I love Midnight Dogs. I think they do some of the best pens on the show floor. But he is back again this year at D06, which is over in Small Press. But he's got the Thing enamel pen, which is $12. I think this thing looks amazing. And then not on here because it was only announced like an hour or two before the show. But he's got a blue velvet ear as well, inspired by David Lynch. But both of those pens are available for $12.
All right. And then artist Kevin Tong is going to be bringing some exclusives, including this really cool looking Sonic the Hedgehog 3 print. There will be a regular and a variant version. They're 24 by 36 inches. The regular is going to be $75 and the variant is $140. The variant is only limited to 50. So they will be a little more difficult to get. And then there will also be an amethyst art print for $130. That is 18 by 24 inches, and it's limited to 30. And then we have the Bird of Prey art print for $120, a limited edition of 40. And we have a postcard book for $25, 24 mailable postcards in a bound book. They are 4 by 6 inch postcards, high quality lithography on brilliant color paper, and rainbow hollow foil cover. And then in addition, and finally, we have the Death of Love mini prints. They are 7 by 7 inches, Jiggly print on textured aquarelle paper. 4 different versions are available. Oh, and we want to show.
Yeah. So for our next exclusive, I just think this is fun. But the OneRing.net has 2 exclusive shirts at their booth 1934 this year, starting with the Prancing Pony Club, which has pink glitter details, and that will be available for $30. And then they've also got some of the only officially licensed merch for the original Rankin Bass animated The Hobbit film, which I certainly grew up on. But that will also be $30. So stop by booth 1934.
All right. And then our friend over at Priscilla Wilson is going to have even more items, including the annual Let's Meet Up on Thursday, July 24th at the Hilton Bayfront at the Odyssey. There will be gifts for the first 100 people. There's going to be a raffle. There's going to be all kinds of fun. It's going to be a meetup. And also on our site, we didn't put it on the slides here, but there's a list of everything that is available and how you can get it, whether it be a lottery or limited to how many per person or no limits, and which days it is available. So head over to the site for that list if you are interested to find all that out. And also the links to enter the lotteries for the ones that are lotteries.
But hurry, because it closes like real soon.
Real soon.
Today.
Okay.
I think today.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. The 15th. Actually, it's already closed.
Okay. Well, never mind.
But the list is still there for the things that you can go and buy on site.
Yeah. Okay, so up next, Julie Vu has so many things. I do not feel as though this got enough love on social media, so please go look at this post because holy shit, these are beautiful. She has some desk mats, which are debuting at the convention, including Rapunzel and Flynn, as well as a robot picnic desk mat, which has like all your favorite robots, from R2 to Baymax to the Wild Robot, Wally, and beyond. She also has some more debut prints for Wicked. That one is $25, or there's a gold foil for $40. She's got a Mulan and Shang print. Same thing, $25 for the regular or $40 for the gold foil. She's got some exclusive print. Or no, these still say debut. She's got a Gwyniverse print for $30. She's got a Robot Picnic print, which is the same design as that desk mat, $30 or $40 for the foil. She's also got some magnetic bookmarks available. It's just beautiful stuff, and you should definitely go check that out.
All right. And Peanuts is going to have a whole bunch of stuff. They have a pop-up shop and a booth inside the convention center. There will be items ranging from $5 to $150. The buttons shown in the top left here are free with purchase. There's 5 different ones, so of course you're going to want to collect them all. There's just a whole variety of things, from lunchboxes to T-shirts, stuffed animals, keychains, yo-yos. Oh my goodness, figures. I'm just scrolling your books. Oh, look at that. There's a snow cone machine, which is awesome that they're making those still. Alarm clock pins. I mean, Hot Wheels. Just so many things.
It's so cool. And can I also just say that I think one of the actual coolest things about this is, like, at the end of the weekend, they're going to do like a red tag sale for like some of the vintage items like that they have on display. And basically, like, you can go and just like buy the vintage Peanuts items like on potentially discount. I think that's really cool.
Hats, bandanas. I'm still scrolling, by the way.
There's so much, and it's split between like the booth and the offsite. Like, there is so much stuff, you guys. Like, oh my god.
So if you want something, check out the list, go through it, and then figure out which one you want to go to. Go to both. Go to them all. Go every day. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah. All right, so Coda has teamed up with Sideshow Collectibles, and they have a Deadpool and Wolverine LFG poster by artist Martin Anson, which there will also be a flocked velvet blacklight version. Is there pricing? Not that I see. But it will be available online for Sideshow's version starting Friday, July 18th. And then the gold foil version will be available starting Monday, July 28th. And yeah, you can find all the information about that on our site.
You can handle the next one.
All right, so Neopets is heading to the convention. They have a lottery open right now for their party. Now remember, this year's party is not free. If you win the lottery, it means you can now purchase your $30 ticket. So don't enter thinking that it's free, because it's not. But they have plenty of exclusives at their booth, including... let's see here. In-person mini pen and lanyard set from What's Your Passion. They've got Neo hoods. They've got a cute little print, USB lanyards, bags, more bags, sticker packs, pens. All the Neopet stuff is going to be at their booth.
All right, and next up we have Alex Pardee with the House Party T-shirts, a bunch of exclusives. They are going to be $30 each, or you can get 2 for $40. And this is just one single image with all of the T-shirts on them. But if you want to go to the site and see all the individual images promoting them, it was hilarious how he promoted them with the masks. And
I loved it.
All the
loved
famous
it.
people who wear his shirts. It's hilarious.
So many famous friends. Yeah, it was cute. All right, so our friend Toddland has a massive presence at Comic-Con this year. They have, God, how many booths do you even have, Todd?
Like 6.
I think it's 4. 4 booths representing 12 series. So much stuff, including several new to them series like What We Do in the Shadows, Big City Greens, Solar Opposites. So we're very excited for all of that, but they did show off their Fox Animation Domination exclusives, which include like some Crapopolis tees, Universal Basic Guy tee, a Crapopolis pen, and more. So much more still to come from Todd. Too much. I wish he could get those wrapped up, send them to me so there was less to announce at this point. But so much more to come from Todd, and he is working on it, I promise. Okay. Normally, at this point, I would run down 80,000 exclusive posts real quick, but I'm not going to do that. Go to our site.
Go to the site.
Go to our site.
You know what you do? If you're into the exclusives, you click on the menu at the top that says exclusives, and you just start scrolling and reading. And scrolling and reading. And about 3 pages in, you go back to the beginning because there'll be something new. And read a few more. And then like skip over all the things you just read. And then another few pages, and then go back to the beginning because there'll be more.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so this is it. I mean, the next thing that we're going to be doing on the podcast is talking about what happened at Comic-Con.
That's right.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the blog is not doing anything else. Of course, the blog will be continue to be updated all the way until what time and day? Is it next Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday?
I mean, the goal is the goal is always that. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know. I am making this up, but Lego's embargo has ended the last couple of years at like Wednesday night at like 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. So I would say odds are decent that the last thing that we post is probably Lego at around 6 or 9 o'clock at night on Wednesday. Again, I do not know that for sure, but I think that is a safe bet.
Yes. But so yes, the website will continue to be updated, and then from there, just follow along on Twitter. Anything else? Attendee of the week is done, right?
You can still submit today. We'll be posting the last answers on Friday. We are doing our friendship bracelet meetups. We posted times. I know the times seem kind of random, but we tried to do them like all over the time. So like some are after the convention, some are before the convention. One of them is like smack dab in the middle of the day. So we're trying to just like scatter them all over the place so that like people can make them depending on what it is you're doing. But we would love if you could stop by and do that. And even if you don't come to one of those, like trade bracelets all over the convention. Like you don't need us or a meetup to do that. Like it's just fun to do. Prize Meal will obviously be back. We have so many amazing giveaway providers this year. We'll be doing all that on Twitter. We have a Patreon. If you appreciate the work that we do and that we've done for you all season, we would love if you could join that. All the money goes right back into the site, keeping our lights on and more. And yeah, we have a party on Sunday. Thank you, Val, for mentioning that. And I hope that we see a lot of you guys there. And I don't know about you guys, but like, this is the most excited I've been for Comic-Con, I think, in a couple years. Like, I think it's going to be a fantastic year. I am like pumped. I think there is so much amazing stuff happening. And it sounds like there's even more still to be announced. Mike just asked, do we have a time for PedroCon? I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. But no, we don't. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just we're excited to see you guys at Comic-Con. Like to actually like talk to you in person, face to face. So if you see it, like,
and do all the things. Which is all the things. One thing you managed to do a day.
Yeah, but if you see us, like, please don't be afraid to come up to us either. Like, we love talking to our readers. Like, it energizes us so much. Like, we love getting to see you guys. So,
all right, I guess that's going to wrap it up for today. We will be back in 2 weeks from today to wrap up Comic-Con 2025, and then we will take a very long break.
woo!
So anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you to our guests from 1540 and from Crunchyroll for coming on and talking about all the things for Comic-Con. Thank you all for joining us and listening or watching. Carrie, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You guys know where to find me, but I am on Twitter and Instagram at Carrie Dixon. James, where can we find more of you?
I'm everywhere online at Dan Regal, except Twitch and YouTube. It's the Dan Regal. I am on a Disney Lorcana podcast called Overexerted. Thank you to Beth, who will be getting this into your ears, editing the show, and all the little things that get it done.
We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up in the blog, or you can search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us.
If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at info@sdccblog.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. Thank you again, everybody, for listening and watching. And everybody, go. I forgot to load the final countdown song. I'm really upset with myself. The final countdown.